Hi, I am Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes so that you pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is should you file information returns with the IRS that you know are wrong? And with that, let me just pull up the deadlines for filing with the IRS for tax year 2024 and 2025. Now, we all know with the 1099 NEC, sending to the recipients, to the vendors, and then filing with the IRS was all due on the same day. However, the 1099 MISC, the forms to the vendors were due January 31st, and if you're only reporting in boxes 8 or 10 February 17th, but most of everyone, right? You have other boxes on the 1099 MISC, and so you just file them all at the same time, or send all your vendors all the forms at the same time versus having different boxes on different days. Anyway, but if you're filing electronically with that 1099 MISC to the IRS, you've got through March 31st. And the same thing with the 1042 S's, right? You've got, it's actually just like the 1099 NEC. It's all on the same day, March 17th. But it does beg the question whether you have time in between when you give those forms to the vendor and then when you have to file with the IRS. Sometimes you've got some time in there to for the vendors to report to you that something is wrong, or for them to provide you information that is missing or that you know is wrong. Sometimes not. The question is do you file that information when you know that it's wrong, when you know it's missing a tax ID, when you know the tax ID that you have on file, you did the IRS 10 match showing to verify that the legal name tax ID combination was still correct and it wasn't, and then you reach out to the vendor and they haven't gotten back to you yet. Meanwhile, it's time for you or you have to file with the IRS. Should you file? And that question is absolutely yes, because, and I'll put a link to the IRS information returns penalties page. I have a link to it here, but I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It shows the penalties for late filing. And so for 2025, up to 30 days late, it is $60 per form. And then if it's over 30 days, but before August 1st, it goes up to $130 per form. And if it's after August 1st or just not filed, let's say you never get to the vendor, they never give you their tax ID. If it's not filed, then guess what? It is $330 per form. And if the IRS feels that you have intentionally disregarded filing, like you intentionally didn't file, it is $660 per form. So the answer to that question is absolutely yes. Now, this page was taken from one of the training sessions that I have on the Vendor Process Training Center. I do have three related to 1099, 1042 reporting. I will put a link to each of those in the description, but you can take a picture of it, scan this QR code, and get directly over there with your phone if you like. But there are links in the description, so make sure you check those out if you are interested. And then you might also be interested in because at the time that I am publishing this video, you're still, right, probably working on if you have any non-US vendors that you need to report on, you're probably still working on those, getting ready to work on those. And so check out this podcast, episode 326, the difference between 1042S, 1042T, and the 1042. And you can listen to this wherever you listen to podcasts, or it is going to pop up right after this video. All right. So if you'd like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my website at deborahrichardson.com for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, fines, and just overall bad vendor data. Now, if you'd like over 100 and I think it's 63 or 49 annual hours on nothing but the vendor setup and maintenance process to avoid, again, fraud, fines, and bad vendor data, you can check out the Vendor Process Training Center at training.deborahrichardson.com. So good luck and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.